Okay, so hello everybody, thanks you very much to participate to this focus group. Today we will talk about the presentation that we had last week, the marketing presentation. So I will just starting to introduce myself. I'm Malik and I will be your moderator today. Now we will talk about the theory we've learned during this class. First of all, you will remember that we talk about observation. So do you remember two methods to do observations?
Yeah.
Which one?
The shop checking, I think.
Does that rings a bell for you?
Yes.
Okay, so can you explain me what it is?
It's somebody that is going to the shop to check the placement in the shelves, how much space you have, and they are checking a lot of things regarding your product. If, for example, Procter & Gamble, they would go and they would check how much space you have compared to the competition, where did you lie on the shelves, and I think, yeah, it's something like that. It's somebody going and they are checking a list, they have a checklist, and they are regarding if they could put somewhere else where it's no flow of people and this kind of thing.
Well, personally, I prefer the mystery shopping concept.
Oh yeah, it's the second one, I think.
Can anyone give us an example of mystery shoppers?
I think it's something about fake client that is checking.
Yeah, it's like in Micro, sometimes you have some people who are trying to hide some merchandise in other merchandise, and then they pass application and they check if you can find everything and scan everything. So to check if you have the good quality in the store.
You remember that we talked about the costs? We say it's between 1,000 and 1,500. Now I will talk about social media. So can anyone of you explain me what is the goal of consumer behavior with social media? What can you do with this? Does any one of you remember what does ethnography mean? Now we're going to talk about data collection. So we've seen last week that we have both qualitative and quantitative surveys. The teacher told us that usually you do one and then the other. Who can tell me which one we do first?
Qualitative.
Qualitative, yeah.
Qualitative?
Then quantitative.
Do you all agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to understand when you do a qualitative survey about the consumer? Which aspect interests you? Can any one of you explain me what are the application of qualitative survey? What you try to, why you would do a qualitative survey?
To explore new concepts.
Which means?
That if you want to find like a new ideas for your business, you can do qualitative, yeah. survey. If you need to know about more about your product, what the people think about it, you have to test a product, to test, or also a campaign, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It can be useful.
So we talk about interview techniques. When we do individual interview, which advice would you give to someone that is conducting a qualitative research?
Not stop the interviewee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's pick him.
Yeah, but up to a point. If he speaks, I would stop him and try to ask a second question to direct him.
Yeah, you need to guide him inside,
Yeah.
but try to.
It's more really like a conversation.
Yeah, and to try to not bias the results with the question that you're asking.
We also talk about group discussion. So it's not individual interview anymore. We have different participants. Do you remember how many participants you should have in a discussion group?
Between 6 to 12?
Like today, it's a good average, no?
Yeah, and it's quite working well.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many are we? 8? 6? 7? 8?
8.
Can you remember the three type of person that should participate to a group discussion?
Moderator.
Observer.
And the participant?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember how we can form groups? For example, if you have a specific segment, maybe you have old and young people. Do you think you have the same result if you put all the young people together, or if you mix the young and the old people?
I would say no, we have different, because if we mix the old and the young, they would not go as deep as if all the young were together and then another discussion with all the old person. They would,
Because you'll talk of different things.
yeah, and they would not understand each other, they would not go as deep.
But then, on the other hand, you have different points of view if you mix
Mm-hmm.
young and old
Yeah.
people on.
So now I will ask those that remember what Delphi is to raise their hand. Those who didn't remember, do you remember that we talked about during the class?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, but you wouldn't be able to explain or to remember what it is. We also talked about projective techniques. So the goal of projective techniques is to avoid rationalization and to understand hidden behavior, to understand things that you wouldn't say but you still believe in. Thank you, that was it for the theory. Okay, so finally, what would you say about the course in general? Did you like the materials? Did you like the presentation, the structure of the course? Can anyone give me his opinion?
In my opinion, 5 hours is really, really long, but yeah.
Well, I think it's long, but I think it was good last time because we had the opportunity to watch some videos on YouTube during the 4th hour. So it was like a break. I mean, because it was, yeah, we were not under pressure, so it was cool.
Yeah, but sometimes for the video we have problem with the light, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe we should find a solution when we use the projector. Find solution for the light. But yeah, that's my opinion.
So in general, who likes to have videos in the presentation?
Yeah. Concrete case. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone of you had anything to say?
No.
Okay, then thank you very much for your presentation and your participation.
Let's drink!